The Annabelle Foundation began from the love of a mother for her daughter. My mother's good friend was Countess Buxhoveden, and she had a daughter named Annabelle, hence the Annabelle Foundation. And I kind of grew up over there. So I was 5 years old, and my mother was friends with the Countess, and you would go over there, and Annabelle, who had special needs, would be playing the piano or doing ballet or speaking several different languages. But it was a unique experience because back then people with Down syndrome were mostly kept home, where Annabelle was taken everywhere. So the Countess was a different woman. She started the Arc of Monmouth's Winter Globe Ball. It's one of the charities the foundation does a lot with. The Annabelle Foundation is a private charity, and we've probably given up to about 110 different charities throughout the years. Our main focus, though, we do a lot with the Arc of Monmouth, hence the association with the Countess and Annabelle. Receiving this award is very humbling. It's very honoring. I'm not really the guy who likes to be awarded, or I prefer to sit in the back and no one know who I am. It's really nice, and again, the Annabelle Foundation does a lot, so therefore it's notoriety for the Annabelle Foundation. It's also to help out a great cause. I mean, Brookdale Community College is part of my past. It's part of the past of a lot of people that I know, and I have friends, kids that are actually coming here next semester from other schools as well.
So Zodiac Aerospace has its roots in all the way back in the early 1930s when James Boyle left Curtiss Aviation, moved to West New York, New Jersey, and started a company called Air Cruisers. His original intent was to build airships, but he soon invented the inflatable life vest, and that soon followed with the inflatable life rafts that are used to help aviators in distress when they land on the water. These two products were really the mainstay of the products through World War II. In the early 1950s, he moved from the North Jersey location down to Wall Township, where we are currently located today. In the early 50s, there was a lot of development on evacuation slide systems to help evacuate passengers from distressed aircraft after they had landed. A lot of that development work happened in the Wall Township location, and today that is our main product. We test, certify, and design evacuation systems for aircraft in the Wall Township area. We are one of only 2 companies in the world that make those products. The history with Brookdale goes back to the early 1990s when we were faced with a fierce competitor and realized we needed to change the way we approached our workforce and our leadership. So we enlisted Brookdale to help develop some programs, and the people that got involved were Barbara Boyington, helped us come up with a soft skills training program called I Make a Difference. We were hoping to engage the hearts of our employees, and a gentleman by the name of John Chaffee brought us the hard skills, which were shop floor math, interpreting engineering drawings, and the principles of lean manufacturing, which we find is very helpful to us today to remain competitive. So with that, we brought all the employees through the training. That led to a situation where we decided that we would bring Brookdale on board to help run a 2-year associate's program right on site. And many of our employees now have earned their 2-year degrees through us. We offer a very rich benefit today for tuition reimbursement, where we help our employees get either their 2-year, 4-year, or even master's degree programs. One person from our company that deserves to be mentioned at this time is Neil Cavalieri, who is our Vice President of Manufacturing. Neil is our longest tenured employee with 45 years of service. He started on the shop floor and was one of the students that completed his 2-year degree through Brookdale's effort to come on our site and deliver degree programs. Neil recently spoke at 2 events touting the partnership between community colleges and manufacturers to bring people to the level that we have achieved. He was recently honored by the New Jersey County College Consortium for his distinguished efforts in this area. I think the Brookdale Foundation is very important for us to support, because although we give our employees a rich tuition reimbursement benefit, there are other students that cannot afford to go to college. The community colleges offer a way for people to fulfill their dreams of an education goal. And one of the things that we've heard recently at the foundation celebrations is the fact that some of these students have spoken about the obstacles that they have had to overcome to achieve their education desires. In addition, other Brookdale people that need to be mentioned are Helen Antholis, Maria Lucier, and James McCarthy, who have really helped us in this process. The benefit of Brookdale being so close is we actually have 3 of our senior team members that received their 2-year degrees from Brookdale. Today we are a company that makes products we hope you never have to use, but if you have to use our products, we are there to save lives. I have to say that we at Zodiac Aerospace are very humbled to receive this award. I'm sure they could have given it to many other, and it's even more of an honor to happen in the 50th anniversary year for the college. So it's very important that we will stay involved with this, but we accept this honor on behalf of all of our 300 employees in the Wall location. Thank you.
We have missed this great scholarship ball because simultaneous to it is the opening night performance of a play that we are doing at the Two River Theater called The Ballad of Little Joe. It's going to be a great show, and everybody that's here tonight at Brookdale will be well served if they'll all come over and see the play at Two River Theater.
Yes, it runs until June 25th. And it is directed by our very own artistic director, John Diaz. And this is a first at our theater that he's directing a play because he is a producer as well as the artistic director. And it was written also by him, Sarah Schlesinger, who is at NYU, Tisch School of the Arts, runs the graduate musical writing program there. The music is written by Mike Reed, who is an Emmy award-winning musician, and it is gorgeous. So I hope you'll all come and see it.
So don't miss it, everybody.
Yes.
The year was 1937. When I was 7 years old, I saw a movie for the first time in my life, and it was Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. And I began to imitate the characters in that movie, particularly the Wicked Witch. And my mother was very impressed with what I did and said, "You ought to follow your heart's desire here and become an actor." Well, I almost did that. Instead, we decided we'd build a theater, and several years after 37. And it's been an enormous success, and we're very, very happy with it, very pleased with what we do. We think we're one of the great theaters in the country. And why did we do it? I love acting. I love theater. After I saw Snow White, a few years later I saw Henry V with Laurence Olivier, and saw how much better it was really than Snow White. So already, you see, relatively early I began to develop a sense of this is good, this is not so good. And so in short, I became a kind of critic. One is hard-pressed to say that word without making a sort of a face, but that's indeed what I sort of done. And further, more than that, in a way, I became a teacher. And I taught for 35 years at Monmouth College, then Monmouth University, now Monmouth University. Had a great time doing that. And then I met this young woman at the University of Colorado, and we decided to get married.
And that's the truth. Because there's a great need for help in so many organizations, so many fine causes, carefully run, and we're happy to help where we can.
And we helped the first time and discovered how much fun it was. It's a great feeling to give, and we have been thrilled to do it a good portion of our life together. The possibility of creating an early college down at
Neptune.
And we went down there, we met Mr. Moy and liked him tremendously. Wonderful man and a wonderful school, fabulous thing to see. And we got very excited about that, and then several months after we got the thing going, we met with students and had a marvelous day with them. Brilliant young kids who were busy making history in a way, doing their first year of college at the same time that they were doing their last year of high school. It's a great way to get things done. So that was a thrilling experience.
We are thrilled and honored and were crushed that this was coming at the same time as the opening of this play. We just felt terrible about it. So we are doing this instead on TV, talking to all of you, having a great time at this party. And our thoughts are with you, and but our bodies are at the Two River Theater.
At the Two River Theater, exactly. But we're very, very happy to have won this award from Brookdale. I have admired Brookdale, and I was around teaching at Monmouth when Brookdale was created, and was very, very interested in it. It makes me recall something from my past. Years ago at Columbia University, I heard Mark Van Doren give a speech when he was honored, and he said, "Isn't this a wonderful thing to do? Isn't it a great thing that man can do this? Man honors his fellows when indeed they deserve the honor." Well, I'd like to think that Joan and I deserve this honor, and I thank you very much for it.
And I thank you very much as well. It's fantastic. We're thrilled. So everybody have a great time tonight.
The 1960s, as you know, was called a decade of promise and also of heartbreak. And for the leaders in Monmouth County, we could say that it was a decade of dreams that they didn't even realize they were dreaming, and making those dreams come true. The 1963 act that the state of New Jersey passed that allowed freeholders to make community colleges was here, it was done, and the legislators put out to all of the different counties that they should think about developing a community college. Well, Elizabeth Kelly was the leader of a study group in the American Association of University Women, the Northern Monmouth County branch that we represent, and she brought that act to her branch and said, "This is something that I think Monmouth County should be interested in." Well, the women in the branch really had no idea of what a community college could do for the community. They didn't really know anything about community colleges, but their interest was sparked by that. So they went to the freeholders and they said, "Do you know about this act?" And the freeholders said, "Oh yes, we know about it. We've been doing a study on it for at least a year now." "Well, we'd like to see the results of this study. We think that it might be interesting to have a community college in Monmouth County." So the women said, "Well, we have an education study group." Audrey Latowski was the chair of that group, and she said, "I think our study group is going to look into what a community college is and what could it do for Monmouth County." They found the California community colleges were the big model for all of the country. And what that model developed was the comprehensive public community college. There were students from Monmouth County who went to Monmouth College. It was a private college. Private colleges were interested in degree programs, were interested in transfer programs, were not at all interested in technical programs, were not interested in continuing adult education programs. A comprehensive community college would take care of those things. So the women in the study group went back to the freeholders and said, we've done our own study, and here's what we found out. Monmouth County could use a comprehensive public community college. Well, they had to wait anyway, because the Monmouth County freeholders study had to go to the State Department of Education. Another year went by. Finally, the State Department said, hey, you guys could qualify for a public community college. The education group started going to the press. They were writing letters. The reporters for the local newspapers were writing articles. They went to other AAUW groups. They involved the League of Women Voters. Finally, they got Joe Irwin, who was the head of the freeholders, to get behind the idea of a public community college. And in 1967, the freeholders passed a resolution that said, let's have a public community college separate from any four-year institution. So Audrey Latowski and her group said, our job is halfway done. Joe Irwin said, your job's not done yet. We need to develop a board of trustees for the community college. We'd like you to help out. So Audrey and her group wrote up half a dozen ways that a board should be useful. What did a board member need to have in order to serve well at the community college? And one of those things was a good understanding of the present and a good understanding of the future needs of Monmouth County. So the board took that to the Board of Trustees, and they said, yes, we'll incorporate what you have said into what we're going to choose for a Board of Trustees member. Finally, our work is done. Joe Irwin said, Audrey, your job is not done. We want you to be a member of the first Board of Trustees at Brookdale Community College. And she decided she could not walk away from the endeavor of seeing through the establishment of Brookdale Community College. And she didn't walk away. She became one of the first members. She was here on this property in Lincroft, where Brookdale was established, and helped to choose the property. She was here to interview, to actually bring down from the airport the first president, Irv Harlocker, for his interview. He was one of 6 people who were interviewed. She was here to choose the architect to change the barns on what was this farmland, this horse farm, to change those into classrooms. She was here on September 29th, 1969, when Brookdale first opened its doors, and she greeted the first students. And she was here as a board member until June of 1973. It was important for a number of reasons, one of which was that there were very few opportunities for students throughout New Jersey, but especially she is concerned about Monmouth County, to get higher education within New Jersey. As Audrey put in one of her memoirs, New Jersey was known as the cuckoo state because the kids would go out of state just like cuckoo birds put their eggs in other birds' nests, and they would go out into the other nests in the other states for their education. And then they might come home, or those students might have stayed in whatever the other states were, being raised through their higher education in that state. Another reason was that in light of the fact that there were few public institutions of higher education in New Jersey at the time, there were so many thousands of students who could not afford a higher education degree. And so the community college was one of the places where they were able to get a good higher education for a reasonable economic rate.
The mission of the American Association of University Women is to advance equity for women and girls through advocacy, education, philanthropy, and research. Since 1881, when the American Association of University Women was founded, we have been empowering women. Overall, nationally, we have 170,000 members and supporters. There are 1,000 branches throughout the United States and 800 college-university partners, of which Brookdale Community College is a member. Nationally, AAUW is one of the largest supporters for postgraduate work for women. Receiving the Founders Award from Brookdale is indeed a great honor for our Northern Monmouth County branch, especially rewarding remembering the founders who put so much hard work into the development of the college. We were asked at the 10th anniversary of Brookdale to write a history of the founding of the college. So the Triangle of Land was written by our branch members. They spent 3,100 hours putting together the history of Brookdale, not only of Brookdale, but of Monmouth County and the Brookdale Farm, which later became Brookdale College. The Triangle of Land has been rewritten twice, updated, and since the first edition at the 10th anniversary, and a new edition, the third, was published last year by the college. Receiving the award also solidifies our relationship with Brookdale, and that over the last 50 years we have had close relationships with the college. We currently give 2 scholarships to the college, one in honor of Audrey Latowski, who was one of the founding members, and a new scholarship this year in honor of Louise Marson. So these 2 scholarships are given to students who are over 25 years of age returning to school and hope to further their education and go on to 4-year schools. In addition to giving these scholarships, Brookdale is a college-university partner with the American Association of University Women, and we continue to work with faculty members to present programs that complement our mission.
Well, first of all, let me tell you that Brookdale Community College is truly a premier institution, not only here in Monmouth County, but throughout the state of New Jersey. It was established back in the 60s when the state of New Jersey passed a statute, if you will, establishing a 2-year institution after the high school graduation. At that time, the county freeholders, a few years later, determined they would like to do just that in Monmouth County. And they were really a group of freeholders with foresight and really an incredible group when you think back on what they were able to accomplish. Names like Harry Larison come to mind, and Ben Danskin, Joe Irwin. These were individuals I knew personally, so I can truly appreciate what they left for Monmouth County, truly a legacy. And so once that was accomplished and they started the college, which was back in the later 60s, about 67, from there on, I think they started with roughly about 300 students in their first class, and it just has grown ever since, not only grown in number, but grown in quality. So I, for one, am very excited to be in any way associated with Brookdale Community College. You know, the tendency is to think of Brookdale as having had humble beginnings, but it really wasn't very humble. When you consider the property on which it was eventually erected, some 250 acres, that was part of the Geraldine Thompson estate. which was recognized throughout the country as a premier estate, primarily, believe it or not, for horses, breeding of thoroughbred horses. At any given time, they had as many as 200 horses on that site. And not only did they breed them, but they did it in an exceptional way. There was a filly by the name of Regret that won the very first Kentucky Derby crown, if you will. So it's really a marvelous background. It also reminds us that Monmouth County has a very strong agricultural heritage.
I'm Monmouth County freeholder John Curley, and I got my start at Brookdale. Brookdale and the community college system was discussed by the state legislature in the 1950s. And it was put forth by Governor Minor and the state legislature. There was a bill in 1962 that was passed, the Community College Bill, which created that system within the state of New Jersey for all 21 counties. In 1963, that bill under Governor Richard J. Hughes was passed and became law. And we moved forward with the Monmouth County Board of Chosen Freeholders in 1967 in July, creating the Brookdale Community College as we know it today. In 1967 also, in June, the freeholders appointed the 9 board members to the trustee committee. And Brookdale has been moving along since then. The Brookdale farm was owned by Geraldine Thompson. She announced that she was going to turn that property over to Monmouth County. And an absolutely beautiful 221 acres, and the freeholders wisely put up $725,000 to make sure that that was secured. Brookdale has been a magnificent institution for Monmouth County and even those students coming from other counties around New Jersey. It's provided what the legislature and the respective governors that I previously mentioned to make sure that Brookdale was there for all walks of life, and that included those children coming from high school, those people that were looking for new careers or changing careers in midlife, and for seniors. It included matriculation programs, it included vocational programs. I was very fortunate because I lost my parents right out of Christian Brothers Academy, and Brookdale was my only option at that time. We're very proud, the freeholders here in Monmouth County in 2017, and supporting this magnificent institution and all that it does, all that it provides, because we all know, each and every one of us, that the only way to improve society is to educate people. And then people can take care of themselves and therefore take care of those people who fall to the bottom rung. So as we move forward into the 21st century, the support of Brookdale will continue to be there. And we salute all of the faculty, all of the educators, the administrators, and certainly thank the Board of Trustees for putting their time in making this a magnificently wonderful institution.
Brookdale is a phenomenal school. It's a phenomenal opportunity for all of our residents, young or old, to get an education. Whether you're just out of high school or you've lost your job and you need to re-educate yourself in some way, it's a great opportunity for everyone. Or maybe you just want to take up a hobby or learn something new. They offer courses all day, at night, on the weekends, so it really is a crown jewel in Monmouth County.
Brookdale is a great college for many, many reasons. First, in today's world, it's an equal opportunity college, and then you look at all the avenues that it could lead to for potential graduates there. And it gives them the opportunity to come to a college, get that college experience, get comfortable with the college experience at an affordable price, and then make the decision, because let's face it, when they're that young, it usually takes 2 years for them to find out what avenue they want to reach out to, and this is the perfect opportunity. And I speak to numerous people across the county, and it's amazing because you continually hear that same answer where they say, I went to Brookdale, it started me off. So it has a lot of successful people here in Monmouth County, and it gives avenues of diversity and opportunity that makes probably the #1 institution in the state of New Jersey, and it's because of those reasons.
I do feel that Brookdale is such an exceptional institution because in its original charter, if you will, it was open to everyone. It was an institution of learning that would have an open door policy. It just fulfilled a need that has been filled ever since, and they do live up to that original charter.
Brookdale is a great school because as part of Monmouth County, we've always prided ourselves on keeping our students involved in education, getting them trained so that they can come back into the community and work with us. We on the Freeholder Board participate in that by providing over $20 million a year in support of the school. We also are very proud of our graduates because we always seem to come out on top, whether it's athletically, academically, and we're really very proud of our people. The interesting thing going back in the history was that the school was originally set up to be a technical school. It goes back into the 1950s, believe it or not, and we established that school, Brookdale, in 1967, and the Freeholders were an integral part of that, and I like to think that we're still doing that today. The other thing that changed during the course of Brookdale's career was that they started to become more of a 2-year kind of a prep school to go to a 4-year college. What we're seeing today is that things are kind of reverting back the other way. And part of what the school is trying to do today is identify those jobs or those particular areas where students can get into the workforce a whole lot quicker. They don't need to necessarily go to a 4-year college, but I know from my research that communications, software development is a great place where employees are looking for those types of skills today. And a lot of people today don't know that they're really good at those particular areas. So we really need to identify the areas in communications of writing. Writing is a lost art, whether it's going back to diagramming sentences, which some of us my age would understand. The other part is software development. Everything is really about software. It's about data. And I think the school is making that shift, so it is going to be relevant for many, many years to come. And I know that the effort is there, and it's an energetic school, and I just love being part of the Freeholder Board to support Brookdale Community College.
My deepest apologies for not actually being there in person this evening. My son is graduating from broadcasting school, and family first, especially since it is a graduation, so I know all of you in this room understand that. But I want to thank you all for honoring the Freeholder Board with this award. We stand on the shoulders of some very dedicated and visionary freeholders, and I'd like to thank those that came before us and had the vision and foresight to know that Brookdale Community College would be the jewel in the crown of Monmouth County. And I'd like to wish the freeholders that follow us the best of luck in keeping this community college the best place there is in the state of New Jersey. Thank you again and have a good evening.
The Founders Award, it's a great, great achievement, and we're very excited. I'm very excited as a freeholder here. But you know, the thing about it is you have to look back into history, and the history of a Joe Irwin, Ben Danskin, Harry Larison Jr., all those individuals that were on the forefront of the success of the college. But it's our job to continue that success and grow that success. And receiving this award makes me feel like we are. We're taking it and moving it forward to the next era, and give them the goals that give the children and even the adults the goals that they need. So I can't thank the college enough for being able to receive this award.
I think it's an honor and a privilege here in 2017 to receive the Founders Award on Brookdale's 50th anniversary. And certainly we're accepting it on behalf of the freeholders of the past. That would be Freeholder Director Joe Irwin, Freeholder Eugene Bedell, Freeholder Marcus Daly, Freeholder Ben Danskin, and Freeholder Harry Larison. And I'm very proud to accept this along with the other freeholders in honor of those individuals who had the insight and the foresight to put forth a wonderful learning institution here in Monmouth County.
Well, I am humbled by receiving the Founders Award. To think that we, the present freeholders, are deserving of this recognition, I think it's really quite incredible. And I am most delighted to receive it, and as I said earlier, truly humbled by it.
Being a recipient of the Founders Award for me is a thank you to the freeholders who actually started the Brookdale Community College. They acquired the land and were very instrumental in creating the college. being here today on the 50th anniversary of Brookdale is wonderful for me to personally accept the award and to be recognized for what we do day in and day out. But I do know that I am very pleased that the education that we provide in Monmouth County, as well as the great citizens and the people of Monmouth County, is a great thing to be part of. So I want to thank everyone for the opportunity, and thank you as a freeholder for the award.
We also have a little bit of a surprise coming from the Annabelle Foundation, so stay tuned for a little announcement we're going to make.